This story happened in the United Kingdom on May 17, 2022. Anna Jedrkowiak, a 21-year-old woman from Poland, was known for being smart, determined, and caring. She loved music and dreamed of learning Japanese and living in Japan. Anna moved from Poland to the UK around 2019 or 2020 and started working in Bristol in 2019, according to her LinkedIn profile. In January 2021, she met a man named Dennis online. They dated for about a year, but Anna ended the relationship because she was afraid of Dennis, who sometimes became violent. She told Dennis she wanted to move to London to study and broke up with him. Anna moved to London to learn about sound engineering at the University of West London. But Dennis, her former partner, didn't want her to go. He didn't accept their breakup and tried to make Anna stay with him. He even threatened to harm himself if she left. However, Anna was determined to start fresh in London. She found jobs at a coffee shop and a Mexican restaurant to support herself while studying. Over time, Anna became close with a colleague named Jack from the restaurant. They started dating, and things were going smoothly for them. However, Dennis couldn't let go. He bombarded Anna with threatening messages, refusing to acknowledge their separation. In one message, he ominously declared that they would always be together and that he would find her. Despite Dennis's persistent attempts to control her life, Anna remained steadfast in her decision to move on. She focused on her studies and her blossoming relationship with Jack, finding happiness and fulfillment in her new life in London. Anna was worried about Dennis and wanted to make sure he was okay, so she called a helpline to check on him. But as time went on, Dennis seemed to get worse and he started treating Anna badly. Then, on May 17, 2022, after finishing work at the restaurant where she worked, Anna left with a man she knew from there. It was late, around 11:40 p.m., and they decided to walk home together. Little did they know, someone was watching them on the CCTV cameras. The footage shows a masked man following them into an alleyway. As Anna and the man, named Jack, walked into the alley, the masked man suddenly attacked Anna with a knife. He stabbed her more than 40 times while Jack tried to stop him, but he couldn't. The attacker was moving so fast and seemed completely out of control. After the horrifying assault, the masked man ran away, leaving Anna lying on the ground. Jack called for help, but it was too late. Anna had died from her injuries by the time the emergency services arrived. Her body was taken to the coroner, where they examined how badly she was hurt. At the same time, the police started looking for the person who hurt her, and it didn't take them long to find him. They discovered that Anna's attacker had stabbed her many times in her neck, head, and stomach. They also saw that the attacker tried to cut off her head but couldn't do it. 22 hours after Anna died so horribly, the police arrested someone. It was her ex-boyfriend, Dennis. Detectives watched CCTV footage to see where Dennis went. They saw that he arrived in London by coach on May 15th. He had traveled more than 150 miles from his home in Newport. In London, he looked for Anna and found the restaurant where she worked. But Anna wasn't working there that evening. Dennis was seen walking in front of the restaurant, back and forth, wearing a hood and a scarf over his face. This strange behavior was captured on CCTV cameras and later used as evidence. That night, Dennis was tracked by his phone to places near Anna's house. Anna went to work at the restaurant just before 5 p.m. Dennis came shortly after, maybe to look at her through the restaurant's windows. At 8 p.m., Dennis bought a knife for £5 and was caught on camera pacing near Anna's workplace. Later, around 11:40 p.m., Anna left work with Jack, her boyfriend. Dennis followed them, wearing a mask. The police found a lot of evidence against Dennis. Cameras and phone records put him near the murder scene. The murder weapon, a knife, was found in a pond the next day. Also in the pond were Anna and Dennis's phones and a photo of them together. The knife had blood on it, which matched Dennis and Anna. From this evidence, the police concluded that Dennis likely killed Anna. The phone records showed he was near her home, and he was seen near her workplace around the time of the murder. The knife with blood matching both Dennis and Anna, along with their belongings found together, pointed strongly to Dennis's guilt. The police believed that Dennis stalked Anna that night, waited for her to leave with Jack, and then attacked her. Dennis attacked Anna in a wild rage, causing the knife to slip from his grasp and slice his finger. He rushed to the hospital, claiming a pit bull had caused his injury. Later, he changed his story, pretending to be a performer whose stunt had gone awry. Surveillance footage caught him at the hospital. wearing the same clothes from the attack. Following his arrest, Dennis displayed no remorse. Investigations revealed his obsession and dire financial situation. His living conditions were deplorable, with maggots infesting his room. Police discovered a chilling voice note on his phone, recorded just days before Anna's death, where he coldly plotted violence. Dennis's actions paint a picture of a troubled individual with a callous disregard for others' lives. His lies to hospital staff and lack of remorse demonstrate his deceitful nature. The disturbing voice note exposes his sinister intentions towards Anna, indicating premeditation. The police worked hard to talk to Dennis and find out why he killed her so brutally, but he wouldn't say anything about why he did it. People think he did it because he was jealous of her moving on from their relationship. They think he killed her because he couldn't stand the thought of her being with someone else. The police were shocked by how violent the attack was. They thought Dennis might have some mental health problems that made him act that way. They checked him to see if he was okay mentally, but they found that he was fine. Soon, there would be a trial for Dennis, but he didn't want to go. He stayed in his cell and didn't come out for the trial. He said he didn't do it, but Anna's family thinks that shows he doesn't feel sorry for what he did. They think it's clear he's guilty. The trial went ahead without him. He said he didn't do it, but Anna's family thinks that shows he doesn't feel sorry for what he did. They think it's clear he's guilty. Her family always called him a coward, saying he couldn't even admit what he did wrong. The evidence against him was clear and everyone could see it. But when it came time for trial, Dennis didn't say anything in his defense. He didn't write a statement or try to explain his actions. The prosecution showed footage of him buying a knife and following the victim before the murder. It was obvious he had planned it carefully. Jack, who was with Anna when she was attacked, testified in court. He said the memory of that night would never leave him. It was horrible, and he couldn't forget what happened. Jack struggled with his emotions afterward, dealing with PTSD and feeling oppressed. The jury listened to all the evidence and found Dennis guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 29 years before he could even be considered for release. Dennis didn't show any remorse, even when he was told his sentence. The judge described the attack as brutal. He said there was no excuse for it, no explanation. Dennis wasn't mentally ill. He was just cruel. Anna's sister was pregnant when she died. She spoke about how much she missed Anna and how her son would never get to meet his aunt. It was heartbreaking for her and the whole family. The story of Anna's murder is chilling. To think she was walking home, unaware that her ex was following her, is terrifying. It's a reminder that these things can happen to anyone, at any time. If you found this story interesting, consider subscribing to our channel for more true crime updates and analysis.